We are very pleased to have on set today Doreen Lang. She is an author and she's a management consultant, and mostly she deals with employee turnover and keeping employees is the most important thing. So you wrote 2 books, How to Drive Employee Retention for the first 90 days, very important. And her first book was Hang On to Your Stars, and of course your stars are your employees.
Right.
Really important to get good employees and to hang on to them. So what motivated you to say, this is really important, I have to write this book?
It was a personal experience that I had several years ago. My mother-in-law was failing. She was not doing so well.
Health-wise.
Health-wise.
Yep.
So we called it an agency, and the agency brought people in every Saturday. And then all of a sudden, after like 3 or 4 times, the people were changing. And she was very unsettled. She was really a personable person, and she really got close to these people who took care of her because it's intimate, you know?
Oh, sure.
And it was discouraging for us because we were nervous for her. Somebody new would come in each time.
Sure.
So I called the agency and I talked with them, and they pretty much laughed at when I said, well, how bad is your turnover?
Yeah.
And it was turning out that the people weren't staying a day.
Really?
And it was so, they thought it was just this business as usual.
Yeah.
But I know that's not true because I was working for an assisted living community at the time doing operations, managing operations, and I had 21 people that reported to me in that similar setting, and we were happy. We were having a great time. I hadn't lost anybody.
You didn't have any turnover?
None at all.
Right.
However, in some of the other departments, because it's not so much the leadership, it's about boots on the ground, who is going to be managing directly with these people and creating these environments. They were dropping like flies. So I started to think about what the heck are we doing, what aren't we doing, and I kind of dug deeper, and the manager allowed me, the director, to kind of look into how we onboard.
Okay.
And so
onboard, a lot of people aren't familiar with that term. What does onboarding mean?
Yeah, it
used
actually
to be orientation,
remember?
right?
And it was like a couple
When I was
hours.
back
A couple
working,
hours, not anymore. I guess somebody with a ship must have decided to call it this. But, but they help new hire acclimate to the social and the performance aspect of their jobs so they can quickly become a productive, contributing member. Okay. So it's the performance and it's social.
Okay. So onboarding really is, obviously hiring the right person is important, and that's a whole different process, the process of hiring.
Exactly.
But once you've decided on an employee, they show up to work the first day.
Right.
The worst thing you can do is have nothing prepared.
Right.
Correct?
Right.
Okay. So let's talk about, first of all, what about the cost of turnover? When you do have turnover where people, they stay for a week, they stay for a month, they stay for 6 months, and then they leave. How big of a problem is that?
It's huge. It's not even in the millions or the billions. It's in the trillions of dollars a year. When you think about the cost is 75 to 125% of someone's salary is what it costs to rehire them.
Yes.
That's if you're lucky enough to get somebody.
It was just as good.
That's just as good.
Yeah, right.
Then you've got the recruitment. So you've got to actually, you've got to reach out.
Yep.
Then you've got to actually go through the resumes, the reviewing. Then you've got to interview people at least once or twice or 3 times. Then you've got to do training.
References.
Got to do training. And then what's really hard is it really kills the morale because people are coming in and out and they can't get friendly. The harmony is not being built, and there's no sense of team.
Right. So that's another big aspect of onboarding properly, is getting people integrated into the team of, or the environment of the company that they're working in.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay. Now, today's workforce is very different.
Very different.
When I started working, it was, okay, Julie, you're starting, and there's your desk, and your supervisor's John, and good luck.
Exactly.
Basically, it was like, learn as you go.
Right.
You know, fire to the flames. It was just, you just did it.
Absolutely.
Now, and especially millennials, expect a totally different environment.
Right.
So why don't you speak to that?
Sure. So let's use this as a benchmark in terms of our generation, which is boomers.
Yep.
The folks before us, the generation before us, let's just call it post-war just for the sake of conversation.
Yep.
When they were oriented or whatever, they literally just, they were so happy to have a job.
Right.
Right? They kept their job for 45 years,
Right.
50
You
years.
never-
they
you
were
never
excited
left.
about that gold watch if they even got one, and a pension if they got that.
Yeah.
And they were just happy. I have a job. I've always been the teacher here, the director here, and that, they were thrilled.
Yep.
Our generation coming in, we saw how hard they worked. We saw they really weren't very excited, and they wanted to retire.
Right.
We don't so much want to retire if we can stay engaged, do something part-time. We want to be happy.
Right.
We know we're going to be there a long time.
Yep.
We see our parents age,
Yep.
and we want to be happy.
Yep.
The millennials coming in, it's
Yep.
a whole different can of worms.
Sure.
They're definitely a generation that they're smart,
Yep.
they're savvy,
Yep.
they want to be treated well because they know they can go just about anywhere because unemployment is so low.
Oh, yeah.
So people say to me, would you do now that you wouldn't have done to the generation, the boomers? I say we should have done the same thing. We just never treated employees the way we should have treated employees.
Right.
And I'm talking about a week week before somebody starts, sending them a card, something like that to say welcome.
Yeah, we're looking forward to
we're
your
looking
first day.
forward to your first day.
Can't wait to meet you.
Exactly.
Join the team.
Exactly. But their people still aren't doing that now.
Right.
So they aren't lasting a couple of days.
Right. So clearly that first day, but the first 90 days that you have planned out is the most important thing. So you write in your book that employee engagement is so important, and it starts with the 5 effective means of onboarding, which starts with your choose an engagement coordinator to drive. So, it's not just your boss.
Right. So this is my whole philosophy, my whole premise in the book is that you need to look at your organization, and there's going to be somebody in your organization that you know would be terrific at driving retention.
Okay.
Somebody that they could be a receptionist, they could be a nurse, but they're full of life, full of love. They're smart, they're savvy, they like the company, they're very positive. That's who you want.
So that's who you're going to buddy up your new employee with.
Exactly. So that's what I do is I go in and I help that person select an engagement coordinator. And then I work with them and train them and show them the importance of this and show them how to do it.
Okay.
Now they're not the trainers, but they're the shepherd. They're going to take that person in the morning and say, "Come on in, let's go talk about this. I'm going to have you meet this one. I'm going to come get you at 11. We're going to have lunch. Then I'm going to pick you up after. We're going to meet so and so. There's a training this afternoon, but I'll catch you after and see how your day was."
Right. So you're constantly checking in
all
with the person.
All of a sudden now they've got some connection. They're not just out there.
Right. Okay. So your second thing is start early and get organized. So how important, I know a lot of people start at a job and they're sitting at a desk and they have a phone, they don't know how to use it. They maybe have a computer, they don't know how to log on. How important is just the infrastructure of where someone's actually sitting and where their job takes them? How important is that?
You know, you asked such a great question. People think that if you're going to hire another nurse, they're going to know just what to do when they get on the floor. When you hire receptionists, the phones are pretty much the same, but these instructions, just try to review them. Assume people know nothing because by explaining it, you're giving them confidence. They're kind of getting a little bit of a buddy because someone's working with them now. You've got to put the time in and educate and explain and even take them to meetings so they can get an idea of what are the issues here and who are the players, and boy, they're serious and they're committed, and boy, this is an important place.
Right. Now, how important is having them understand the culture of your company? Because sometimes I've heard that people kind of learn a culture as they go along. You can't like tell somebody in their first hour the entire history of the company and have them understand all the nuances of the company. But is part of onboarding getting them to understand what the values or the mission of the company is?
Absolutely, and that needs to come in that interview process. You want to make sure that you're hiring people with the same values and that they're aligned with the same kind of passion for the work or even the excitement or interest in the work.
Okay.
So that really starts beforehand, and that is really set by the leader.
Okay.
The leader really needs to put that out there. And I kind of flip the chart in my book where I have the leader on the bottom of that graph and I have the workers up, because that leader should be spreading that upward to them and should be supporting all of their staff.
Exactly. Okay. Day 4, day 1, welcome the star to be. So that's the important thing, where they actually come in the first day. They're treated like gold. They have someone that's going to help them and check in with them all day. They might have a plant on their desk. They might have, you take them out to lunch. Really important. Days 2 through 30, so it's the first month. Engagement is burning bright. What does that mean?
That means really when you hire somebody initially, if you do get the first day right and you're welcoming them and they're happy, they're still pretty excited to go to work. So they are still bright. They're still interested. They're still kind of excited about what they're going to know, what they're going to learn. So you still have them. If you started out well, they're still feeling pretty darn good.
Pretty cool. Yep. They're pretty good about the company.
Right.
And so days 31 through 89, which is the second and third month, the stars align. Meaning?
So the stars are lined up. You've got your teams that are well pretty much working together. They've got some friends. They have some friends now. They're going to lunch, maybe not with this engagement coordinator, because now they've got some friends, because now they've started to, it's all starting to flow, and it's working in the direction you want it to go. They're feeling more part of that organization.
And goals and objectives obviously have to be part of this too.
Very, very important. You know, it's such a great question. When people start a job, no one ever says, this is what we expect.
Right.
No one does that. They just say, here's the job, this is
here's
your
job
desk,
description,
and review this. And I once had a job where they gave me a 3-ring binder, it was this high. And they said, review that and we'll meet you after lunch. And I remember looking at it
or
and
watch
thinking,
this video and we'll see you later.
I'll be honest with you, I was really young. I'm so embarrassed to say this, but I'll never forget it. I was all alone. It was like 11:30, my stomach was growling. I saw them all go to lunch. I'm sitting there, I got all this new jargon, it was insurance, and I'm thinking, I don't like it here.
Yeah.
And I grabbed my purse
And
they went right out the door.
Yep.
It's so typical and so it's so avoidable.
Yeah.
People know this is important. It's not brain surgery.
Right.
But they don't do it.
You need to be reminded.
But they don't do it.
You need to be reminded.
Yeah,
and this
they
is
don't do it.
awesome.
They don't do it.
So, thank you. Our 10 minutes has gone like that. Yep. To contact
for having fun.
Your website is www.hangontoyourstars.com,
right.
which is something easy to remember.
Yeah.
So the book is How to Drive Employee Retention in the First 90 Days. I found it fascinating because it brought back things to me that I said, oh, we don't do that.
We don't do it.
We don't think about that. And this is really important.
And it's easy.
It's easy.
It's simple.
Right.
But we don't used to stop this.
Yes.
Now the millennials expect it, so we have no choice.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
This has been wonderful.
What a pleasure.
And thank you for watching. If you want to see the show again, you can check out our website, and PCN is also on YouTube. Be sure to follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook to get up-to-date info. From all of us at PACTV, have a great week.